Good afternoon, everyone. Charles Moskowitz here. I want to preface this little talk with a big disclaimer, and that is that I urge all of you listening to stay safe, stay in. This week is, according to the Surgeon General, going to be the worst week of the pandemic in the United States. So we're all vulnerable. I know that I'm kind of sheltered here with my family, and I hope that you all are as well. And I'm not in any way discounting the dangers of this terrible virus. But now that I've put that on the record, as someone who has been studying for many, many decades at this point, the various machinations of what President Trump accurately calls the deep state, what has been euphemistically called the Eastern Seaboard liberal establishment, the internationalists, the globalists, all of them. I can't help but thinking that this situation is one that is advantageous to their agenda. Not that they caused it, they didn't, but that they possibly want to exploit it or prolong it in a way that is useful to them. You know, it's kind of like what again, Rahm Emanuel, Clinton's or Obama's chief of staff said when he said, "Don't let a good crisis go to waste." And that this is the kind of thing that could be solved quickly, and President Trump is on our side on this. It's just been noted, and my source on this is Bill Still from the Still Report, and I think he's a very good reporter. I've been following him for a while. He's been around for reporting from inside information in Washington for decades. I think he goes back to the 60s. And he says that an Israeli drug company called Teva is in the process of creating and will be delivering to the United States 10 million doses of hydrochloroquine, or hydrochlorocone, or whatever it's called. Hydrochloroquine, thank you. By the end of this month, which is in a week and a half. And that this particular drug, which is simply one you take as a pill, it's not even an injection, has been proven from studies done in France, in China, I think in Korea, to virtually cure the coronavirus COVID-19. That combined with the Zipromax, the Z-Pack, and that it's been done. It's been tested with placebos given to a planned study group in France. So Dr. Fauci, who knows where he's coming from, he has tried to discount this, even though it has been done. He said it needs to be more studies, controlled studies, when those studies have been done, and it has proven to be effective. And that President Trump is on board with this. He's called it out publicly. He has noted it. He knows about it. And I believe that if this happens, if the Israeli company Teva delivers this 10 million doses to the United States, that should be more than enough to cure the coronavirus, and having some left over for other countries as well. So I'm not a doctor, and I don't claim to be, but it seems to me, based upon what Bill Still is reporting, and I believe him, that there is strong evidence to suggest that this simple drug, you take 6 doses of it over 6 days, it cures COVID-19. And yet the establishment is dragging its feet on it. They're discounting it. I've heard reports, not just from Dr. Fauci, but from others, saying, oh, pay no attention to President Trump. This isn't real, and he's being criticized. But, you know, I'd point out that President Trump, I think we can safely say, whether you like him or not, and I do like Trump a lot, but putting that aside, that he's usually right when he says something. you know, he ultimately proves to be right on most things. And in this case, he knows what's going on. So I believe that if this dosage of 10 million doses of hydrochloroquine comes into the United States from Israel, if it gets here and it's properly distributed and disseminated, then we will cure it by the end of this month, God willing, and we will have a worldwide cure for it by Passover. So, you know, what a great way to celebrate freedom from oppression. But in the meantime, I'm troubled by the phenomena, and again, I'm not saying we should do otherwise, of Americans getting used to the idea of being locked inside their homes, being told they can't go out, being dependent on the internet, which is more and more controlled, and media, and really living, in a sense, it's like almost like a little experiment, a social experiment, in terms of living a controlled existence. I haven't seen anything this authoritarian in my lifetime. President Trump has not taken the bait of leftists in Congress and elsewhere who want him to basically declare martial law and seize private companies, which is something the left would have done by now, believe me. And also, Congress is deadlocked on the stimulus package, which I think is probably a good thing, because this is an excuse to go into debt by $2 trillion more to the international bankers. We don't need to do it. And if we get the hydrocortisone, whatever it's called, hydrochlorozine, into circulation in time, which will hopefully be in the next 2 weeks, then we won't need to do it. And that the economy will come back in a big, big way. I think there are elements of our establishment who want to prevent that from happening, possibly, because it doesn't fit the agenda that I just suggested. So let's be careful, especially in this next week. Let's stay sheltered. But at the same time, we should be aware of the fact that there is this drug, and we should clamor to have it made available as soon as possible so people can be saved and cured. Anyway, Charles Moskowitz here. Check out my new website, charlesmoskowitz.com, where I have breaking news from various sources going on that site as it breaks, and other links to interesting YouTube channels and blogs and other things I'm doing. Check it out, charlesmoskowitz.com. Thanks for watching, everybody, and be safe.